Caitlin Clark is listed on an injury report, lads. You're gone to a preseason game. Listed is on an injury report. For the first time in her WNBA career, Caitlin Clark is listed.
Taking her completely off the board. She will not touch a basketball, and unfortunately, we will probably won't see Caitlin Clark play in any preseason games.
The WNBA is going completely crazy since Caitlin Clark's injury was made public a few days before the season began. Yes, the same fans who postponed weddings, skipped work, and threatened friendships to watch her debut may now be fired by their MVP. Clark had an ACL injury, and officials revealed that her injured leg needed rest and that the preseason might continue without her. I know you might have lost it after hearing this, and I'm the same here, girl.
She injured her ACL.
Place this in 143, 150, or more. Eliminate his needless pauses. It almost seems as though all of the resentful former fans and the salty coach's envious rivals gathered in a prayer circle and received what they had been hoping for. Because it's true that Caitlin freaking Clark, the most anticipated rookie in WNBA history, is now officially on the injury report.
And ACLs are a tough one to recover from, and so
days before her big preseason debut, half of America suddenly realized that the WNBA exists and is now viewed as doubtful. It allowed that to set in.
Plenty of opportunities to, go see Caitlin Clark play for the rest of the year, but when will we know? If she's questionable, it should be listed right before it.
That's an update for Clark that's a full-blown catastrophe. I know that sounds dubious, like she just sneezed too hard or something, but in WNBA terminology, that means it's a literal coin toss whether she plays or not, a 50-50 chance for everyone else.
Thought this was clickbait. There was no way in hell Caitlin Clark could have been hurt in my book. Well, I'm here to tell you, the Indiana Fever put out information. There's more information coming out from people that's actually in Indiana.
Since this isn't your typical ankle roll, everything Caitlin Clark does is based on chaos. She sprints, stops sharply, and steps back threes from the parking lot. Her explosive first push is the foundation of every move she makes, and now her right leg, the one she loads for those half-court daggers, is under scrutiny. Not to mention that Georgia Amore recently tore her ACL.
That's literally like saying it's an FU to season ticket holders that Caitlin Clark actually gets.
Since this isn't your typical ankle roll, everything Caitlin Clark does is based on chaos. She sprints, stops sharply, and steps back threes from the parking lot. Her explosive first push is the foundation of every move she makes, and now her right leg, the one she loads for those half-court daggers, is under scrutiny. Not to mention that Georgia Amore recently tore her ACL.
that Georgia Amore injured her right ACL. During Tuesday's Mystic practice, the team announced she and the team will examine treatment and rehabilitation options.
Aaliyah Edwards has a back contusion.
That says that forward Aaliyah Edwards has been diagnosed with a low back contusion. She will be re-evaluated in
Aaliyah Edwards has a contusion in her back.
Kentucky. She's somebody that I'm a huge fan of, and I was really excited to see her play this weekend.
The rookie class is disintegrating like a group project, and Megan Gustafson is also out with a leg problem. 5 minutes before, to the due date.
They're young players that a lot of people are excited to see who are out with injury, and that's just such a tough blow.
Fans are noticing that after these girls dominated an NCAA season, they were thrust into media circles, forced into professional training with no time to recover, and now, welcome to preseason, here is your injury report. This isn't just about Clark anymore. There is a pattern, and the league ought to be alarmed.
Because Scott Agnes, I mean this, he's been showing off an awful lot of footage. And if you guys are seeing right here, he said that Caitlin Clark was at practice and was fine today.
However, the Fever's spin comes next, and it's not that serious at all. Scott Agnes, who has essentially had a permanent seat at practice, claims she seemed well.
She's not going to play tomorrow. She's not going to play tomorrow. She's going to play quite a lot. Of course, it's precaution. She'll be fine.
She moved without any obvious pain, even launching her signature half-court shot as if it were just another Tuesday. Then, as fans were wiping away their tears and deleting the panicked tweets, there was a bandage and a fat, unmistakable wrap hugging her leg. Oh, and she missed some practice, skipped long drills, and remained on the sidelines longer than usual.
Could be. We don't know what that is yet, but she is sidelined indefinitely. And this is a new Las Vegas Aces team.
Now, I'm not sure about you, but I'm going to raise an eyebrow so high it reaches my ceiling fan if someone assures me she's perfectly okay, while she's actually benched mid-drill and wrapped in warning tape.
And they're just low managing her. Like, that is the reality, is that Caitlin Clark is almost certainly being low managed.
And to be fair, Caitlin Clark has more than earned that rest. She's been running on overdrive for months, powering through a grueling final NCAA seasons, single-handedly dragging Iowa into the national spotlight, juggling a non-stop media circus walking straight into the WNBA draft spotlight, and then diving headfirst into prot training camp with no pause in between.
It's a back-to-back in Iowa. One of them's in Iowa.
There hasn't been a single moment for her to breathe, recover, or even function like a normal 22-year-old. So when the Fever used the phrase load management, it's not about strategic rest. It's a desperate attempt to prevent their biggest star from physically crashing before the season even properly.
She's going to want to play all those games, and she's going to want to give as good a showing as possible for the fans. And I think that might be the reason why they're taking her out of the game.
But fans are side-eyeing the whole thing, especially with that game coming up. Sunday, Iowa home turf. Her people you think she's missing. That please. The Fever knows exactly what they're doing. Sit her down. Now let Theramers swirl, then let her walk into Iowa and drop 30 on live TV. It's all a setup, a dramatic PR mastermind setup, peak marketing, and honestly, I respect it, but also we're still stressed.
Quickly, hopefully we will get more information on this injury and the severity.
Because this isn't just a headline. It's a full-blown alarm bell, and it's all coming from her right leg. Not her elbow, not a jammed finger, not some random cramp, her right leg. The absolute engine of her entire game. That's the foot she uses to launch those absurd step-back threes, the one she plants every time she goes off balance for a fadeaway. The leg that literally powers the brand of chaos we call Caitlin Clark basketball.
Her team went into the NCAA tournament and then she goes straight into training camp. There's just not that much time for recovery for these players, and it does put them in a situation where they might be more prone to injury because they don't have that time where they just get to recover and reset and get ready for their new season.
Let's just say it, this isn't a torn ligament, but it's not a paper cut either, based on how they're handling it. Letting her shoot around casually, but benching her for high-intensity drills. We're talking about something like a quad strain, which means reduced power, unstable movement, and trouble exploding off that leg.